I'm really curious, right off the bat, there's no question to me that, when you jumped in on this, it's like you hit a reset button. Is that fair to say, or how would you describe kind of how you jumped into the second season?
Well, I think what happens is you bring your toolkit with you when you show up. And a writing style or maybe a management style or whatever, and the writers that came in on this season, Evan Dunsky and Peter Blake, also come out of network television and cable TV, and we just brought our storytelling style to the show, which I think was denser, a lot more story, kind of crammed in there. Coming off of The Shield, I learned from Sean Ryan the virtues of putting 15 pounds of story in a 5-pound bag. Right. And I think that also in just reacting to last season, we were able to kind of look at each character and locate where they were at the end of last season, and then out of that extrapolate a character arc over the season for each one of them, and it was just really us reacting to where the characters were in time and space.
I really love the relationship between Roman and Peter as the season developed, because it felt both organic and yet like they're loving and hating each other almost at the same time. Did you have a particular impression going in of what you want to accomplish with them throughout the season?
Well, obviously, the two guys together are money, Right. So we certainly didn't want to have them in just separate storylines, separate universes. And it just seemed like a great opportunity to two people that desperately care for each other, but are also really angry at each other for reasons having to do with their past, and yet united in having to accomplish a common goal.
Right. Well, I love how Shelley plays such a part in that, because it feels like you really brought out so much story in her character this season. How did that develop? Did you start out with a plan for the whole season, or did you just kind of come upon the story?
The Shelley story in particular?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, looking at Shelley last season, it became really clear that she was, number one, the beating heart of the show, and the sort of beating human heart of true goodness, uncorrupted in an otherwise toxic stew. Right. And she also became, you could see that she was sort of a surrogate for the young female audience. I think our culture puts demands on young girls, especially, to look a certain way or to be a certain, to attain a certain level of glamour or something like that. And Shelley, I know this from my own daughter, who was modeling when she was in college, and she would look in the mirror and only see her imperfections. So I think that's why they were just completely gravitating towards Shelley, as did I. So the notion there was, okay, number one, let's really design this character, because last season Shelley, from a production standpoint, was a little ad hoc. She was kind of done an amalgamation of stand-ins and voiceovers and stuff like that. So let's come up with a visual design for the character and a prosthetic design and special effects design, so that we have a character, that looks and looks consistent. And we found this wonderful actress, Madeline Martin, who's crazy good. And then for those episodes where, 3 episodes where Shelley doesn't even speak, and her performance is just amazing. So it was like, well, let's get underneath this character, and then this aspirational story, a character who has an opportunity for a normal life, whatever that is, and then, of course, is denied it. So it just seemed that finding Shelley, also she was on the run, presumed dead, actually. Right. And so we had the opportunity to, I don't know if surprise is the right word, because you get an actress like Madeline Martin people are going to know from the ads that Shelley's back.
Right.
But when she drops in the narrative and how she drops in the narrative was pretty surprising. Hopefully. And then what's the trajectory of that character over a season?
Right. So then, what about? I mean, I hate to just stick to all the characters, but there's so many stories. But what happened with Olivia and Famke? Did you guys intend? I guess did it start out that she was going to be part of the second season, or did you actually think, oh no, we need to bring that character back in? How did that develop?
Well, first of all, thank you for asking about the characters, because that's really where I want the show to live and breathe.
Right.
It's a layered, character-driven story. Well, Famke is just an incredible actress, and we saw her at the end of last season being zipped into a body bag, which seemed to present just a whole wealth of opportunities. I mean, the psychic trauma of being, attacked and brutalized and left for dead by your own son, your flesh and blood, seemed to me to locate her in a really weird emotional place. And it was also, she had played the villainess. She had played just the wicked, female character, and we obviously didn't, want that to, just sort of freeze into archness. Right. So the idea of her having to be forced to explore mortality and therefore her humanness, and come to terms with that, and deal with it, and then start, falling in love with Norman. It just seemed like a great opportunity. All the sort of human emotions that she has to confront and make some accommodation with.
Right.
When I was doing Dexter, Michael C. Hall's character, for me, it always seemed that Dexter was Pinocchio, a boy wanting to, or somebody wanting to be a boy. And I think with Famke's character, Olivia, we had the opportunity to watch her explore what it means to be a human being.
Well, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.